So again, deep work is very narrow. It refers to professional activities that are cognitively demanding, and it refers to approaching those activities without context switching. So instead of switching back and forth between that activity and other things like email and Slack, I'll give it my full attention. By giving cognitive demanding professional tasks your full attention, you're able to accomplish it faster at a higher level of quality than to approach it with divided attention. Now, I'm assuming because you use the terminology stay-at-home parent, you're not also working a job. So it's not like you're trying to balance an unrelated knowledge work job with deep work requirements with being at home and caring for a child. So probably what I'm assuming you're referring to is just important work. You have things that need to get done. And when you get to the afternoon, what seems like the right time to sort of get things done and make a real push through your task list, you find that you're tired, which, by the way, I'm not surprised by. Young children are incredibly tiring. So what can we do about that? Let me start with a couple practical suggestions, and then I'm going to give you a slow answer as well. Find more ways to get things done in the morning when your energy is higher, even though your kid is around. So especially with first kids, there's this idea that, look, they need to be constantly entertained, direct one-on-one engagement with a parent. But that's not really the case. By the time you have 2 or 3 kids like I do, your standards there really start to go down. There's probably certain types of things and certain times in the morning when you can get that done. Oh, okay, so we have breakfast, and after breakfast, he or she watches some Bluey, and that's when I, check up on email. Or that's when I build the grocery list or whatever it is. So there's ways you can integrate more work. I call people when we go for a stroller walk in the afternoon. I do some planning at the library during storing time. So if you get a little bit more creative about finding times to get things done during the morning when your energy is higher, you're going to get a lot more done. You just need to put aside the guilt that somehow the kid needs constant one-on-one attention. You might want to automate the afternoon work you do to make it less of a motivational push. All right, here's something kind of simple I can do. It's kind of automated. Preferably something you can do while listening to a podcast or something else that's desirable. And so you push into that afternoon nap space, something or chores that you really can just sort of do listening to something else. It doesn't require a lot of concentration. So you don't leave the more complicated stuff for the afternoon. And finally, arrange for more time off. There's this idea sometimes, especially with stay-at-home parents, if you have a partner who's working outside the home, that what you're doing is somehow easier, and therefore you have to always be doing it. It's always you who should be watching the kid. But actually, it's an incredibly hard job to watch a kid, and it's usually emotionally a lot more demanding than going to an office. And so a lot of successful setups say, okay, I want at least 2 half days a week that's entirely time to myself. And there's a lot of different ways to do this. It could be, when the kid naps in the afternoon on Thursdays, there's some sort of childcare option. Usually you arrange with your partner, hey, you work from home sometimes and not. Start work later on Fridays. You watch the kid. I'll pick it up at 11. Or on Sundays, I get the day, that's your day with the kid, and I spend 3 or 4 hours on that day doing something else. So try to have multiple long stretches of time just to yourself built into your week. Now, you don't always have to just work in that time. Also do stuff for yourself during that time as well. But I don't think stay-at-home parents give themselves enough time not being a parent. And you need that. I mean, think about someone who goes to an office. Half of their waking hours is not in the office and not working. Compare that to a parent, all of their time is with the kid. So it really matters that you put that time in there. All right, now for my slow productivity answer. Whatever it is you're calling deep work, be okay doing less of it. This happens often. You have a kid. I have a kid, but I still have to do all these other things. It's no, the kid is now the major thing. It's items 1 through 3 on your list of 5 that you're doing. So you should commiserately reduce other things that you can and be okay with that. I'm going to do less things for a while. I'm not going to do this club anymore. The side hustle, side project idea, let's give that a year off. I need more time. This is hard what I'm doing. I don't need to necessarily fill the afternoon with whatever it is you're calling deep work. What if that's when you exercised and took a nap or just read? I mean, it is, again, for whatever reason, we don't count taking care of a kid as much as we should in terms of how hard it is. So if someone, again, let me use an analogy to other types of work. If I had an office job I went to from 9 to 5, and I was like, okay, here's the problem. I'm at the office and I have this job, and then there's this completely unrelated job, and I'm trying to spend a few hours on that in the afternoon while I'm at the office. But my job is so hard when I'm trying to do the second job at the same time, I find it to be hard. They say, stop doing a second job, right? I mean, you already have a job. But when that first job is taking care of a kid, sometimes we're like, come on. I mean, I'm just at home. I'm not in an office. Like, I should be doing all these other things. So this is my slow productivity answer. Principle one of slow productivity is do fewer things. Just have less things on your plate.